Heto na ang talakayang magbibigay linaw at kabuluhan sa mga isyong may kinalaman sa teknolohiya. E-Talakayan, kung saan ang IT ay hindi pang eksperto lamang, kundi kaalamang inilalapit sa bayan.
Good afternoon sa ating lahat. Welcome muli sa isang episode ng e-Talakayan. Hello sa ating mga kasama sa YouTube, mga ating YouTube followers, and mga listeners. Ayan, so welcome sa isang episode ng e-Talakayan kung saan ang IT ay hindi pang eksperto lamang,
kundi kaalamang inilalapit sa bayan.
Ayan, so kung nakikita nyo, wala si Sir Mario ngayon at meron akong kasamang host, resident guest. Ayan, si Gabo or si Gabriel Villorente. Hi.
Magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Gabo.
Tsaka kasama ko rin si Stanley, si Papa Stan na matagal na nawala. Ayan, so at ikaw nagbabalik.
Hello po sa lahat.
Ayan, okay. So meron din tayong kasamang napakagandang guest. And mamaya natin siya papakilala and kasama yung topic nga natin for today. Ayan, so review lang natin, ano nga ba yung pinag-usapan natin last week? Teka lang, ang ating napag-usapan last week, teka lang, nakalimutan ko rin. Ano nga ba pinag-usapan?
Last week about Google Apps?
Yes, about Google.
Yeah.
Yun yung episode na wala kami. Wala kami dito sa, nirecord natin sa office. And then, nandun tayo sa engineering kasi meron ng Going Up with Google na event. Yes, so, nandun ka rin nung Going Up with Google event.
Oh,
diba?
actually, ako yung nag-shoot.
Yes, so ano yung mga nangyari doon?
In-introduce nila yung applications na
Yes.
pinaprovide ng Google and that's for free. Kaya sabi naman ng ating VP and together with the AVPs na why not use it if the technology is available for free.
Exactly, ayun. So marami rin ako mga discover na apps doon like yung meron palang Google Draw. Yun nalaman lang namin ni Trixie na meron palang Google Draw, and then meron ng Google Scholar which is actually matagal na rin ginagamit ganon. And yun, so may mga nag-attend na nanalo ng mga Google Swag. So meron silang Android na stuffed toy, merong mga nanalo ng t-shirts tsaka mga lanyards, yan. And then yung mga attendees din, they were able to try yung mga applications.
And ang maganda doon is they've also tested yung Google Hangouts with other CUs in the Philippines and even campuses outside the Philippines. Medyo bago-bago pa yung technology with other
mga connection
individuals.
Problems lang pala. Ganyan.
Ayun. So, ayan. So, ngayon, ang ating guest for today is from PSIA. Ayan. So,
ano ba yung
first,
PSIA muna?
yan, oo. Actually, di ba, yung office ba ay nandyan sa may...
Techno Hub?
Yeah, the fourth.
The fourth. Ayan. So, ang layo pa ng pinanggalingan. Ayan. So, ang PSIA ay Philippine Software Industry Association.
Yes.
Yes. And we are glad to present ang ating guest for today ay ang Executive Director ng PSIA. And she is also a former news desk researcher for ABS-CBN, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Ayan. So let's welcome Miss Joie or Miss Josefina Y. Villanueva.
Yes,
also
thank
called
you.
Joie.
Good afternoon, everyone, to all your listeners. Magandang hapon po. And thank you for inviting us here.
Yes. Ayan, thank you for responding to our request din. And to Miss Ara, nandun sa kabila. Ayan, hello. Ayan, so ang topic natin for today is the Philippine Software Industry.
Or the state of the Philippine Software Industry.
So I think
bakit ba natin pag-uusapan
nga,
to?
syempre very important yan sa mga taong katulad ni Stanley, 'di ba? Na
Oo.
Ano bang future mo, 'di ba? Or may future ba ang iyong
May
trabaho,
future ba
diba?
dito?
So,
Yes.
aside sa future ng mga taong nagte-take up ngayon ng mga IT courses, related sa IT courses, meron pang ibang work actually aside from just an IT. Let's say, yung mga BPO industry.
Oo, yun. So, napaka-importante din ito, di ba?
Okay.
Ayun.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I think that's enough introduction. Well, PSIA, Philippine Software Industry Association, well, first and foremost, we're celebrating our 25th year.
Yes,
Yes.
congratulations.
5 years.
Sa Friday.
Silver anniversary, will be at the Makati Shangri-La. So, medyo bonggang celebration siya for the...
Invited mo kami dyan.
Sure, yeah.
Crash. Nagmumangkati rin ako ng Friday.
Okay.
We can
So,
go
we'll
there.
tag you as members of the media. Sige.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
saktong
Yes.
nasa Makati siya ako this Friday. Yes, so tatawid lang ako
So,
sa
kailangan
baba.
talaga,
Yes,
no?
so kailangan talaga.
Kailangan talaga invite. Okay. So, we were founded 1988. So, right now, meron na kaming 160 member companies.
Wow.
So, it's a
That's
non-profit, non-stock organization. So, association of software and IT companies all around the Philippines. So, right now, as I said, 160 in all. And these are the companies that are engaged in software development and IT services outsourcing.
Okay.
So, we are part of the IT BPM, the IT business process management industry. However, we differentiate ourselves as the higher level, higher value,
ng type ng
sector.
work.
Yeah, exactly. Because we need a lot of technical,
Technical
people
to,
in this
not
this
necessarily
field.
yung voice.
Exactly.
ano lang,
Yeah.
Outsourced. Okay.
So the English proficiency and the communication are just means to do business.
Yes.
But our key skills really are the technical, the software development skills that we need in our industry. Yan.
And
So
you
right-
hold the largest network of all
I believe we
these
are the
companies.
largest trade
The
organization. Yeah,
Yes.
that are
The
focused on
Philippines.
software development kasi
Yes.
marami dyang ibang organizations na IT. So they
Yes.
could be distributors, they could be IT professionals. Pero sa amin corporate siya. So the members are the companies
The
themselves.
Mm-mm.
So the representatives from these companies are the top management. So it could be the CEO, the chairman, vice president. Yeah. So yun
So
yung
may idea
representation.
ka kung halimbawa kailangan nila mag-hire ng ganito
Ng
karaming
ilang
game
ganun-
developers,
Yes, oo. Kasi
ganito karaming mga...
minomonitor namin syempre yung progress.
That's
So,
good.
So, yung demand,
Oo.
for example,
Meron
for
ba kayong
jobs.
Twitter, Facebook, ganyan?
yeah, facebook.com/PSIA.org, O-R-G, yeah.
Okay.
PSIA.org. So follow us.
Yes.
Yes. Ayun.
And our website is www.psi.org.ph. So we have the directory of members there, all based in the Philippines.
Wow.
So it could be
Sampulan
SMEs,
natin. Ano yung mga ano na yan?
small medium enterprises to the big ones, the large global companies. As long as they have an office and a software development team here in the Philippines, they can be a member of PSIA.
Okay. So, di ba parang meron kayong pool ng or parang members na mga corporations na that deals with information technology. So, meron din pa kayong parang number or idea kung gaano karami rin ng, for example, graduates ng IT and how you could connect them to the
Top,
industry.
yeah. Right now, yung current workforce namin is about 57,000 software engineers and IT professionals. So that's a pretty small number. However, the revenue per full-time employee or revenue per FTE is a lot bigger than a normal industry. So, and we bill in dollars.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
the higher so we benefit from a weak peso, so to speak, because ang billing rate namin are in dollars. So if you measure the success of a company through the revenues generated per employee, mas mataas talaga yung sa amin kasi unang-una hindi rin ganun kadali mag-hire ng tao basta-basta. Kailangan may technical skills and updated and with the pace of technology ganyan. We tap on graduates of computer science. It could be IT courses, other IT courses, could be MIS, Management Information Systems.
Yes,
Yeah.
from
As
our-
long as, And once they get hired by any company, yung kumpanya, tinitrain pa rin sila, nag-i-invest sa kanila. Kasi the technology changes in 6 months to 1 year. Ganun kabilis, you know? Now you have Windows 8 and then I don't know when the next one would be launched. So ganun kabilis. And as technology changes, kailangan mag-adapt din ng skills.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
like,
So,
the same way that
trainings din.
the same way that we're gonna adapt, update our own devices eventually. Yung mga developers developing applications for these devices,
Like an iPad.
kailangan din nilang mag-adapt doon sa
Yeah.
changes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yun. Yung question mo sa number of graduates, I think CHED data would give us 500,000 graduates for all courses. Out of the 500,000, siguro about 40 or 50,000 lang ang IT graduates. The thing is, hindi natin alam din lahat kung lahat ng yon pupunta sa IT industry. Some of them would, go nga to the BPO industry, to other industries, maybe even tourism, kasi minsan nga, yung mga graduates natin, we don't really know if updated yung skills nila or they're employable on day one, di ba, of employment. That's how we try to bridge the gap.
Parang
We have a lot
skills
of
matching din.
Exactly, yeah. And a lot of training. Plus, but yung skills gap, it's not unique to us. It's everywhere around the world. Kasi nga ganun kabilis yung galaw ng teknolohiya.
Technology.
Yeah.
So, dapat pati yung training.
Yeah,
for
and
example,
Panay
should
yung
be-
training, and then
update din.
updated din sila sa latest training na pwedeng i-offer. And
And
then
not just-
sila yung naglalobby nun para
Yeah.
sa mga
And you
kailangan.
don't expect lang training institutions to train you. You have to self-train, di ba?
Yes.
You have a lot of these courses through Coursera, through all of these websites
Open
that offer free training. So nasa sa'yo talaga. There's really no reason for any individual not to be updated.
So you also have this like pool of training institution or training centers where parang yung mga wanting to be employed na mga IT graduates ganyan would update their skills in order for them to be employed.
Yeah.
As well.
So two things yon. Yung mga IT companies, they're creative enough to train their own people, especially the
Yes.
new hires.
Yeah.
No? Kasi depende sa requirements ng kliyente nila, kailangan i-match yung skill ng i-hire nila dun sa kailangan gawin sa opisina. So another thing is for those who are probably mga estudyante pa lang or out of school youth or I don't know, maybe shifters, they can proactively find training institutions that can train them for a lot of this programming
career shift.
courses that exactly. So right now in our industry we need a lot of Java developers, all of these programs.
Java developers.
Yan, announce
Tandaan. We need a lot of how
Java
many
developers.
Java developers?
All of this the trend now would be yun nga, we need a lot of Java developers, also Microsoft.NET, the
.NET developers.
Microsoft technologies, the C languages. There's still a lot of demand for the COBOL, the mainframe.
The mainframe programming.
In fact,
so mga banks to.
Oo. In fact, kung magaling ka doon, you're a
Magkano,
gem
magkano?
actually.
Oo nga. Actually,
Kasi
di ba
konti na lang
naalala
ang
mo yung
kumukuha nun.
sweldo
So,
ng isang COBOL programmer?
yes, oo. Yung
Yeah.
sinabi mo.
And then some other languages, other areas like RPG, what else? Oracle for the databases, yeah.
About yung mga web developments.
Yeah, we do a lot,
Kasama pa din.
yeah.
Okay. So yan, so may idea na kayo if you want to to talagang mag-push into an IT
Mag-flourish.
career, di ba?
Yes.
But
So-
we encourage talaga the students who would like to take the IT path to take computer science courses. Kasi yun talaga yung they teach you the foundation, yeah.
Yes,
The
nandun
fundamentals of software development.
Not
So, kasi-
necessarily parang nag-specialize ka sa isang programming language. Pero lahat nung
Naiintindihan mo pa rin sila.
yeah, the fundamentals.
Yun. So parang after mo
Kasi-
graduate siguro, parang doon ka na magfo-focus, nang magse-specialize.
Or
Yeah.
ComSci,
Okay.
apply sa trabaho, and then yun nga, yung additional training
Yeah.
para mag-focus na, okay,
Kasi we
to
don't
learn
know,
more
in-
about Java.
in a few years,
Java,
may-
MEEE, mga ganyan.
Yeah, and maybe eventually, in a
Yung
few
bagong
years, Java,
technology.
hindi na siya uso. Baka COBOL ng tingin natin sa kanya. Parang ganun.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have to know the fundamentals first. So we encourage students to take computer science courses.
Okay. So, yan. So, I think this is a good time for a break.
Okay.
Yan. So, na-note nyo naman yun, yung mga courses, Java,
Java,
Microsoft
COBOL,
.NET.
.NET technologies, and the basic C languages.
Yes.
Ayan, okay. Ayan, so let's take a break
Break.
muna.
So, ang oras ay 15 minutes nakaraan bago ang ika-alauna ng hapon.
Makalipas ang alauna.
Makalipas ang alauna ng hapon. Ang DZUP 1602 ay kasapi ng KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. DZUP 1602, kasali ka!
e-Talakayan.
Ayan, and we're back.
Nagbabalik ang
Nagbabalik.
e-Talakayan.
Yes, ayan. So, we're here again. Si Joy po, si Gabo, and si Stanley, and si Miss Joie ng
Yes,
PSIA.
magandang
And we're talking
hapon.
about the
PSIA.
PSIA. And ang pinag-uusapan natin ngayon ay ang current situation or current state
Yes.
ng Philippine Software Industry.
State of the software development industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Ayun. So, kanina nga na-identify natin kung ano yung mga parang in-demand na
The
skills.
Programming skills. And yung syempre in demand course pa rin talaga is computer science.
Computer science. Okay. So, maganda na before kayo mag-specialize is alamin niyo muna yung core talaga. So, take an IT course or a computer science course muna.
Yun,
Yan.
tapos nabanggit ko kanina, 'di ba? Since sinabi na ni Joie from PSIA, lahat ng mga courses na malaki yung demand for skills or for tao, okay, based sa kanilang network of big companies. Naalala ko noon, Joy, di ba, nagkaroon tayo ng episode kung saan sinabi natin yung parang comparative salaries or competitive salaries, mga ganyan, ng bawat skill na meron ka sa ganito. So, halimbawa, karamihan, I have students, I interview them. Okay, bakit ka nag-take ng IT? Bakit ka nag-take ng IT? Ganyan. Tapos sinasabi nila usually, mag-abroad po, mag-Singapore,
kasi po sa abroad, malaki yung sweldo, mga ganyan.
Okay. So, do you have ba any idea lang about that? Diba, since you have the network of these big companies demanding for these skills, okay, parang ano yung, may figure ka ba for the tinatawag nating brain drain of these developers na nag-aaral sa bansa natin and then
pupunta sa ibang bansa
pala din sila eventually mag-work. Okay.
I think the figures will come from OWA.
Okay.
Or POEA.
Okay.
Dating sa mga OFW, no? Kasi they're considered
Yes.
overseas Filipino workers. Pero in recent years, naging problema naman yun, especially naging attractive yung Singapore.
Yes.
As a destination, kasi una ilang oras lang to travel there, and then if let's say you miss your family, you can always, take a weekend here and then go back to work again.
Mo, diba?
Exactly, oo. So, ganun lang siya kabilis. And then, halos pareho lang ata ang oras natin with them. So, wala ganung differences. But, we've seen recent trends as well na a lot of these people are coming back also. Kasi una, taas ang cost of living doon. I mean, if you're earning so much, Singaporean dollars, and you convert them, malaki talaga ang value. Pero yung cost of living doon, I know some people, mas malaki talaga. And some people, you can rent a room there, or I don't know, have a tawag dyan, okay, paisa. Yeah, very small and very not in very good condition. I mean, with the same amount, with the same amount, you can rent a much better space here. What I'm saying is that the cost of living is really mas laki, mas mataas pag convert mo. So parang talo ka rin. So we have a lot of a lot of people coming back also. Yeah. And I think people have been recognizing na malaki talaga yung may tagline nga yung isang partner organization namin na work abroad, live here. So that means you're working for a foreign client but you're living here with your family.
Yes. So I've actually tried that with a Singaporean client.
Ako naman Japanese client.
Yeah, so that's a trend that's happening, especially now na mataas yung tingin sa Pilipinas these days, right? Because yung credit rating natin tumaas, the all eyes are on the Southeast Asia, of which we are a part. So
may
malaki
question
yung growth
lang ako.
dito.
For those kind of jobs, for instance, yung parang kay Stanley nga na parang he is working here but then parang yung boss niya is abroad. Parang yung boss is abroad, yun yung nagpipay sa'yo, di ba? So parang does it affect the Philippine economy? Or parang meron bang contribution yun, for example?
Taxes. Through taxes,
Taxes.
Kasi you're still here. You're employed here in the Philippines,
Pero your boss is there. And what if gusto mo ikaw yung boss? Ganyan.
Yeah, kung ikaw yung boss naman, you wanna go into the technopreneur path. We have a lot of startups as well. Kumbaga, it's very easy to...
PSIA supports startups.
Of course. We recently launched the Software Products Incubation Group of the Philippines. So we call it...
Saan ang incubation site nyo?
It's not a physical site, but we hold a lot of meetings and workshops and coaching sessions.
To monitor their
growth nila. So it's not really a physical facility.
Ina-assist nyo rin sila.
Exactly. Madaming startup groups, you hear a lot of this weekend startup competitions and stuff. But ours, we call it Spring. So, Software Products Incubation Group of the Philippines, spring.ph. What we do is, apart from a full day competition where we gather all of these, budding technopreneurs. Kung sino man yung mapili namin doon na feeling
Angel
namin...
investor, ganon.
We have that network
Angel
as well.
Wow.
And then, if, let's say, the funding doesn't... Kasi usually, ang mga startup competitions, you give money like 100,000 to 200,000 for them to take off their products, diba? Ganyan. Sa amin, siguro we can't boast any big amount, but ang differentiator namin is that kapag kasama ka dun sa mga nanalo, in-incubate talaga namin. So, there are regular meetings, regular workshops and coaching sessions. And yung mga coaches nyo are the veterans in the industry.
Nice.
The ones who have actually returned from the US, from Silicon Valley. A lot of Pinoys like that na mga bumalik sa Pilipinas to help the economy
Yes.
here. Yung mga yung mga tumanda na doon na gustong bumalik to help.
Or yung natutunan
Yeah.
nila dito,
Exactly.
doon gustong i-apply dito.
Yeah.
Yes.
So sa PSIA, we have a good network of a lot of this, people coming back from the US. I have 2 bosses who have come back from the US, from Silicon Valley, and then they do that out of their, pro bono,
Makadevelop
really
lang,
to
no?
coach. They want to see
Yes.
the next, big
Developing
name coming
Filipino
from the
talents.
Philippines.
Yes.
Exactly. So itong spring na to, they have a very lean goal of promoting at least 10 globally recognized
Wow.
Filipino-made software products.
Wow, malay mo,
In
ikaw
what?
na
In
yun,
6 months ba to?
Stanley,
Or
diba?
Until 2016, that's their
until
goal.
2016. So,
2016.
sumikat
So,
lang
10
yung
lang.
isang app mo sa iPhone.
Oo. And
Yes.
yeah.
Bongga na.
So, currently, meron na ba na parang nakikita na ito, posibleng siya na
Right now, meron kaming
ganyan?
8 na
May 8
in-incubate.
na. May 2 pa.
Kasi we
Stanley.
started that competition that we call Launchpad last December. So meron na
okay.
kaming 8 na members.
nice.
So these are regularly meeting.
Okay.
So they're really taken under our wings, yung wings ng Spring Founders namin.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for instance, for example, si Stanley or somebody is parang interested into parang undergoing that. So parang being one of those. So parang paano do
Ano
they
ba
approach
criteria
yeah.
ba
you?
yun?
Or
Diba?
how do
Students
they
ba
apply?
dapat?
Yeah.
Or
What are the
Well, it
qualifications?
doesn't matter Wala.
basta
Ngayon,
form ka ng group,
Ah.
apply sa one-day
Apply,
competition, develop something.
una-una, dapat may idea ka. Tapos yung idea mo, you can
Implement the idea given the resources.
it's a good idea and it's realistic. Kasi kaya mo nga siya isasali, ipipitch mo muna yung idea mo Pwedeng
Yes.
idea siya or may prototype ka na na hindi mo alam what's the next step after that.
Yes.
So pwedeng ganun. Sumali ka dun sa competition.
100,000.
No, it's not really, I don't know, I'm just saying figures off my head, but it could be in form of pera talaga ang ano mo, or i-coach kayo throughout the
Okay,
the
so
year.
more than
Yeah.
yun nga yung capital.
Until
Parang
you're
more
ready to
on the
fly.
training
More,
and
oo,
kung
parang
paano
training.
talaga.
paano mo
Yeah.
isa-set up, let's say,
Kasi-
nakagawa ka ng app, paano mo isa-set up yung company mo to sustain that app.
Yes.
Yes, pwedeng operational, kung anong, how do you,
And then,
yeah.
improve, let's say, update versions of that app.
And you also sort of connect people. Parang, this parang company or this group of people can help you with that particular idea. Parang, ganun.
So it's building also the network, yeah.
Yes.
Kasi sa amin yung membership namin 160 member companies, no. A lot of them are mid-size companies na. By mid-size I mean mga companies with employees from between 50 and 500 employees.
Okay.
So these are mature companies. And you have the startups. So maraming pwede mangyari doon Could be yung application na dinidevelop nito can be tawag dyan, kunin ng isang malaking company or they know how to develop it. So there are a lot of collaboration opportunities. Yeah.
Yun yung pinakamagandang actually na makukuha mong return from joining
Yeah.
that network. Collaboration with the member.
Marami kang may kilala.
Yes, oo.
And extending your networks talaga, di ba?
And that's how you keep yourself updated as well, not just
Yes,
through
oo
media, but through the people that you meet. Kasi it's a small community of like-minded people, di ba? Alam niyo yung mga concerns nyo, your concerns are business, building your business, you have birth pains and growth
Yeah.
pains, So you share all of these best
Pagdadaanan
practices.
mo,
Yeah.
Actually, ganun din yung, I have friends and I have joined yung mga incubation programs and even mga startup weekends. And yung friends ko, they have this startup, tapos ang dami nila startup, and eventually, joining such incubation na programs, ina-absorb na rin sila ng company. And to the point
Okay.
na sila na yung parang nagiging head developer ng isang company. And I think it's a benefit na to join such networks para at least malaman din nila yung skills mo and the skill of your company na binubuo.
Oo. Actually, nagkaroon din ako ng parang ganyan, similar situation, incubation. Kaya lang, well, for me, dahil investor ka din in a way, di ba? Medyo lang siya sa akin. Pag not properly managed, ang hirap, lalo na kapag first time mo.
Yeah.
Tapos, you've been gumagastos ng malaki para sa product nyo. And
Yes.
then, after all, parang dahil hindi ka properly managed, so maganda yung meron kang proper guidance.
Oo.
Mahirap pag hindi siya parang na-back-upan ng
Oo, na-back-upan ng proper network, proper,
Yeah.
yung meron na ino-offer ang PSIA.
Yes. Okay, so ayun. So I think this is again a good time for a break. So
A
marami
good time
tayong
for a
pag-uusapan ulit. So halftime na tayo.
So, ang oras na ito ay 29 minuto makaraan ang ika-alauna ng hapon. Ang DZUP 1602 ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Sa DZUP 1602, kasali ka!
e-Talakayan.
Yan, and we're back.
We're back!
Nanunumbalik.
Nabunumbalik. Ayan. So, we are talking about the current state of the Philippine software industry, and we are with Miss Joie Villanueva of PSIA. Ayan. Okay.
So, kanina nung break, medyo nagkaroon kami ng small talks lang, no? Small talks. Tapos sabi ko, ay dapat online or on air natin ito pinag-usapan. Okay, so kasi dito sa UPITDC, okay, we develop trainings and programs for IT courses, okay, and some IT skills. Now, isa dun sa mga nabanggit ko kanina is PSIA actually is one of the parang consultants of DOST
For curriculum development.
for curriculum development. Okay, so may project po ang DOST by ICTO.
Yan. Pero
Yes.
so, abangan, hindi pa namin alam kung pwede na siyang i-announce.
Okay. Sige.
Yan, so, abangan natin yan.
Oo.
So, ano
Pero
yung
yung
proyektong yan?
PSIA, actually, they are one of the pasabi nga yung sabi mo kanina, ini-screen nyo or somehow tinitignan mabuti, sinusuri yung mga programa na ino-offer ng mga training centers
Yeah.
na ito. Kasi since yung malaking part sa inyo is you hire them yung mga graduates na mga training programs na
Since
to.
we represent companies
Yes.
who are employers,
Yes.
so we need to make sure na whatever training that we will support, yung graduates yung magiging produkto yung training na yon, hireable for us,
Yes,
di ba?
so yung
Employable.
skills nga is
Oo,
nagmamatch
nagmatch,
talaga
oo,
sa anong
sa
need ng
requirements,
industry.
yeah.
Ayun.
Otherwise, sayang lang yung panahon pati pera.
So parang sa mga nagde-develop ng courses, naging ano na rin siya. Not really a standard pero parang maganda kung dumaan siya sa PSIA.
And
Okay.
endorsed.
Karamihan actually ng mga kilala ko ring mga big training centers aside from ours, dumadaan din sa parang standards ng PSIA.
So to speak. In principle, yeah, standards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, gusto ko naman siguro, curious lang din ako kung may idea rin ba kayo sa figures, for example, ng parang standard na salary rate, for example, for software developers, for, ano pa ba yung mga ibang software
Mga
developers?
Software
Business
developers,
analysts.
software
Analysts.
engineers.
Mobile developer, mobile game developers, mga ganyan.
As I said, for the parang higher value, no?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
by value, you mean monetary din,
Mhm.
and in terms of skills and
Yeah.
knowledge na meron yung tao na hinahire. So it's really a higher value industry sector yan in the Philippines. So I think pagdating sa salary, it's comparable, especially yung entry level, it's comparable with everyone else. Parang you start, it could be between 12 and 18,000
Yes.
entry level. The thing is, once kasi nga technical skills ang kailangan, di ba? And you need time to develop your own
Yes.
technical skills. So if you've counted, let's say, 2 years to 5 years in the industry doing, focused on that area of programming or any area in software development, mabilis yung jump ng sweldo, yung pag-increase ng sweldo. Yeah. I had a friend when we were both 26 then. He was a software engineer. He was earning 90,000. We were 26 and this is true
Wow.
story 26 noon, his expertise is really Java programming. Yeah. So eventually you can be, mid-level, from junior to mid-level to senior
Developer.
Depende sa kumpanya kung anong structure nila. But typically you'd be mid-level senior, can be project manager, can be a Java architect. Pag
Wow.
architect ka na, you design the software na. So ibig sabihin ganoon na yung skills mo, and you have domain expertise in a lot of different areas. It could be you're doing software for, let's say, for healthcare space, for, let's say, media, let's say entertainment, or the airline industry. Pwedeng ganon.
Nice.
So, pag architect ka, ibig sabihin you have certain level, you've reached a certain level of skill. And yung skills nga, sabi ko nga, sa panahon mo na-hone yan eh. Yung if you keep updating yourself and you keep, kumbaga you nagpo-focus ka sa isang skill. Oo. And then you keep yourself updated. So, ganun kabilis. So, from 18, you can jump to 25 to 30 to 50,000. I mean, ganun siya. Mabilis talaga siya. And that's why they say na you live here, you work abroad. Kasi parang you're earning then salary of as if you're working abroad. And malapit ka pa sa family mo, di ba? Yun.
Yan. So,
And there are companies even offering 6 digits. So these are people, seriously, these are people, especially kung ganun ka niche yung ano mo, yung skill mo na hindi nila mahanap ng basta-basta lang kung saan. 150 to 100 would be easy for big companies. Yeah.
Yes, actually right now, I have a friend who's
Kala ko ikaw,
Actually right now. Stanley.
Who's same age with me, 21 years old, and he's currently earning 6 digits. And ang work niya lang is, yun lang, ang struggle niya lang is early morning work since abroad yung company talaga.
Okay
But
na yun.
he jumped from, nag-start siya after graduation, I think, around 50,000 to 60,000. And then after that, nung lumipat siya dun sa isang company, he was offered 6 digits.
Wow.
So, sobrang bilis nung jump in terms of monetary lang.
Kasi they won't even look at your, well, of course, companies do that for due diligence. They look at your resume. But if they, after a few weeks or
kanila.
matetest kanila how productive you are and how clean your code are.
So, 1 month ka lang. Sorry.
Ayan, so yung para sa mga software developers na of course would want to earn this big. Ayun, parang sa tingin niyo, what would you recommend na kung saan sila dapat pumunta, kung saan paano nila pinipave yung way, or parang paano sila papunta doon sa career na yun? Paano nila mahanap yung mga companies na ganito?
The very good programmers, software developers that I know started coding, programming as early as grade school.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I know, some of
Paisip
them,
ako bigla.
mga kaedad ko na. And then, seriously, so you have to really start young.
Okay.
If there's a way to require students in high school or even grade 6, middle school maybe, to start programming, coding, writing small applications in their computers, laptops. Mas maganda yun. Kasi it's a skill nga, di ba? Like, of course, I mean, it's true for any skill, di ba? Like, take for example, Lea Salonga. So, gumaling naman siya ng
bata
ganun.
pa lang.
Kasi bata pa lang siya. So, you start really early.
But may nabanggit rin siya kanina. Gusto ko lang din pag nilay-nilayan pa yung na yun. Halimbawa, yung sinabi natin kanina na domain expertise or ito yung special niche niya. Okay? So, halimbawa, pasok ba dito, let's say, yun nga, yung healthcare, or kaya yung mga iba pang industries na inimine-merge doon sa technology. So, parang, kung halimbawa, isa akong nurse, okay, tapos suddenly, ay, may pera doon. Parang, if I take an IT course, pasok ba ako doon sa mga, sinabi mong, kailangan ng may domain expertise na, let's say, tech, information technology, medical.
So you probably have yung domain expertise, pero another
pa. Yung halimbawa,
yung technical expertise mo naman.
Oo,
yung
medical
skills mo.
transcriptionist, mga ganyan.
I don't think they need coding there for
Hindi
grammar.
ba
It's a
ba?
different course, and there's a different association for that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, yung mga, let's say, architects.
Develop ka ng system for hospital.
Yes, pwedeng hospital. We have a member who developed and maintains the software of Delta Airlines in the US.
Oh, that's nice. Dati siyang piloto. Hindi
naman. In other words, siguro part of their project management team there has to have knowledge in that industry, yung airline. Otherwise, how would you know kung anong pangangailangan ng ano requirements ng industriya na yun? Yan. So let's say you need people for, let's say, to do software for the pharmaceutical industry, then you have to have a little background on that as well. Yeah, typically mga project managers yun kasi they need to drive the project, the software development project. Yeah.
Yan. So for example naman na you have the skills, and for example this parang skill na alam mo ikaw lang nakakaalam nun, and then na parang ito high-paying to. So, how do you find these companies that look for those kind of people? Parang do we go to PSIA and find them, or do we post our resume online, or what would be the best?
A lot of ways. Well, for one, we have the member directory sa website namin, psi.org.ph. For the fresh grads, we really recommend that they start with wag silang ambisyosa agad. What I'm saying is,
ganun talaga.
what I'm saying is, you start with you don't look down on the small companies. Kasi wala yun sa laki ng kumpanya. It's the expertise maturity. There are companies na 50 lang silang tao doon, pero they've been around for 20 years. Ibig sabihin, expert na sila dun sa ginagawa nila. And it's their prerogative not to grow so much. It could be a management decision or something. But what I'm saying is, if they really, especially kung fresh grad ka, you really want to learn the entire software development life cycle, what happens, and you really want to hone your skills, you start with companies that are really doing software development. Kasi yung typically yung mga global companies, malalaki na sila. So maybe they would have a lot of need in maintaining software, in systems. But if you work for smaller software firms, then they will really teach you the entire
cycle.
Cycle and the entire
My God.
So, if you're a fresh grad, parang hindi recommended na mag-startup agad.
Not recommended, but we encourage you to wag tumingin sa sa pangalan ng kumpanya. They really look at the profile. Ilang taon naman yung kumpanya and what have they been doing. Kung let's say you have expertise in Java or yun yung natutunan mo ng college, then maybe you go for companies na yun yung expertise nila, na magaling sila on Java development. Kanya.
Okay. So, look for companies that match your interests. Yung gusto mong puntahan talaga.
And wag muna mag-judge. Tingnan muna yung profile.
At wag agad pera. Kasi
definitely not money.
If you love your work and you've developed skills for it, money is easy.
Well, how about, may question ako dun sa mga small companies nga. Okay, so it's a management decision na medyo ayaw nila mag-grow bigger. What if, let's say, if I apply to that company, nako-consider ba yung parang growth naman sa career? Do you think pag ganun, kaliit lang?
Not naman that they don't want to grow, but it could be, yes, for one, management decision yun.
Yes.
Or, depende rin sa kliyente. If they have a very deep client base, so marami na silang kliyente, then marami silang projects, then naturally, you need a lot more people than that. So, kung nasusustain ng management yung pagpasok ng kliyente. On the other hand, medyo part of the Filipino culture as well, I think,
gusto mo promoted ka lagi, ganyan.
Probably, what I'm saying is yung sa management na
parang
manageable.
Okay.
Close-knit, diba? Close-knit. Pero we encourage a lot of our companies, especially members namin, to grow more than 1,000. Kasi ang pinakamalaki namin na Filipino software company has 1,000 software engineers, and that's big already in the Philippines. But if you go out, you say you have 1,000 software engineers, and they have projects, let's say, that need engineers, like 2,000, 5,000 engineers, then wala ka na agad. You cannot meet their requirements. Maraming ganung kumpanya, especially in the US, na they need ganito kalaki agad yung requirements. So, do you have this? So, if you're a company na 200 lang kayo, then hindi ka na agad doon. You cannot apply, you cannot bid na.
So, yun nga, nakita ko rin kagandahan pag yung konti lang yung tao sa company. Parang, for example, pag malaking companies kasi, parang you start dun sa pinakamaliit na job. Pwedeng encoder ka lang. Pero kapag nandun ka sa malaking company, parang there is a need for this, there is a need for, parang yun nga, mahawakan mo yung iba't ibang aspeto ng
or different roles.
Yes, you will take different roles, which parang mas lalawak yung skill set mo.
You mean smaller
companies.
Yes. They start with smaller companies. Mas develop ka.
Yes.
Kasi ganunan mo lang yung boss mo. Unlike yung sa malaking company, hierarchies yan. So there's very little influence on decision making.
Tama. Para mapupush ka rin sa limit mo na kailangan mo tong aralin kasi konti lang tayo, kailangan mo tong aralin.
That's why you hear a lot of people na at the age of, let's say, 26 lang, CEO na sila. I mean, Facebook, right? So, wala nang age-defying, kumbaga.
So, hindi na siya na parang, ako nagtatrabaho ko sa Asus, laki ng kumpanya namin, or parang Ganon. So, parang if you want to hone your skills talaga, then okay na
Maganda yung small
maganda
company.
yung mag-start small talaga.
And wag agad yung palabas yung tingin na
Oo,
after graduation sa
lilipad.
labas. No,
Oo.
times are changing. And I think this is the best time. I mean, I've lived here all my life, so this is the best that I've seen the Philippine
Wow.
economy. So
Economy, yeah.
Okay.
maganda. Things are, things are bright here talaga. The near future is bright for all of us.
Yan,
And
so
syempre,
ganun.
with the aid of technology, you work here, but your bosses are abroad.
Yeah. And because of the internet,
Yeah, dali lang, diba?
once you launch your business, you can go global as soon as the following day, di ba?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hindi yung typical na sari-sari store, you start with barangay muna yun.
Okay.
Ayun, you launch it lang on the web and then it's a global business. Ganun.
Nice.
Okay. So, mamaya pag-usapan natin, so ano na ba yung picture ng Philippine Software Industry talaga? So,
Okay.
and di ba we have a bright future. So, pag-usapan pa natin yan after the break. Ayan, so, ako naman? Or,
Sige. Na-excite
Ang oras
ako.
ay
Sige.
45 minuto makalipas ang alauna ng hapon. Ang DZUP 1602 ay kasapi ng KBP o Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Yan, sa DZUP 1602. Kasali ka!
E-Talakayan.
Yan, and
We're back.
we're back. And nandito tayo sa ating last set or last quarter ng ating episode.
Yes.
Okay. Ayan. So, we're talking about, again, the status of the Philippine software industry.
Yes.
Ngayon.
And our guest is from Philippine
yes.
Software Industry.
Ayan. Executive Director, Ms. Joie Villanueva.
Yes.
Ayan. Okay. So, ngayon, sabi ko nga kanina.
We'll paint the big picture na.
Yes, paint the big picture. Paano ba natin nasabi na is the Philippine software industry in the Philippines really growing?
Growing?
So, anong mga proof meron tayo na that it is really growing?
Mhm.
So, yan.
So as of last year, the entire Philippine software industry is about $1.16 billion. That's how big it is.
Okay.
Revenue.
That's in revenues, yeah. So that's yun yung na-contribute namin sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas, yeah. But the entire IT BPO industry na
With the
bahagi
BPO na
kami, kasama ni BPO dyan, contact center, you have game development, animation, health information, outsourcing, yung mga transcription, legal transcription. The entire IT BPO, I think nasa top 3 siya na biggest contributor to the Philippine economy. I think top 1 is still the remittances,
Bigas, yeah.
right? Remittances. And then, nasa, kumaga, top, earner siya for the industry. So, kung mag-grow pa yun na mag-grow lalo, then we can, there's more reason for our Filipino friends, Filipino fellow men from abroad to come back. Oo. Kasi may trabaho dito. Yun nga, as I said, from 2011 to 2012, that's a 17% growth.
Wow.
And then in terms of,
In a year.
In a year.
yeah. In revenues yan, but in terms of software developers,
Or
and
jobs
full-time,
created, parang
full-time
ganun.
employees, right now we are 57,000 people na in the industry. So that's 14% growth from
Itong
2011.
57,000 na to, ito yung mga may skill set na yung nasa mas mataas yung value.
Yun all the
Or kasama yung
software
contact.
engineers. No, kami lang yun.
Okay.
Software, the software
Sige.
sector. Software developers, business analysts,
Okay, gets.
other IT professionals.
Laki in fairness.
Okay.
So, sa tingin nyo, will this, parang mag-continue pag-rise
Yung
na
pag-rise?
as the year goes?
Oo. Actually, 17%, maliit pa siya. Kasi ang average namin compounded annual growth rate is about 25% in terms of revenue. Oo. Pero lumiit siya to about 17%, pero lumaki yung kasi now we start measuring the revenue per employee.
Per employee
Yeah,
na.
kaya higher value professional ka.
Okay, so halimbawa, hindi lang basta yung tao, but yung mga de-develop na mga taong to. For example, ako, I handle 2 softwares, parang ganyan.
Or yung billing rate mo malaki. Dahil
actually
dahil
okay.
you're a technical person. Yeah. May skills ka na hinahanap.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Kasi hindi lang naman, kunwari, ipasok mo sila sa isang training for 3 months. Hindi naman yun basta-basta. It takes time to hone a certain skill. Yeah.
So, hindi after training is, taas na agad
Oo,
sila naman.
okay ka na. No, don't expect that. Oo.
Okay. Ayun. So, oo nga.
Pero we have a lot of programs na so that we can, keep growing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
At least within PSIA, focusing on servicing our members. We have 160 member companies. So we're focused on two objectives, the marketing and branding, which is kasama dun yung country branding.
Country branding.
So pagdating
Dito
dyan
na kayo
sa...
mag-invest sa Philippines.
Oo, something like that.
Okay.
Investments, yeah. Either we go out of the country, we go to key markets. So ang key markets namin would be the US, Japan, Australia, and the Asia Pacific. UK is also part of the it's a customer for us. We go out, we go to these key markets, and we promote the Philippines. When we go there, we don't promote our individual companies. We promote the Philippines as a software development hub, software development outsourcing destination.
So, halimbawa
Yeah.
ako isang investor from Australia and I need 2,000 software developers.
Wag
And
naman
then
sana.
Mag-outsource
Yeah.
ka sa
Oo,
Pilipinas.
you have the
Yes,
pool of
ganun.
all the employees.
So, hindi
Yeah.
siya parang dalin niyo yung mga Pilipino sa ibang bansa. Hindi
No,
ganun,
not
but
really.
outsource.
That's why it's outsourcing, no?
Uh-huh.
So either they set up their own branch here, which is still a gain for us,
Yeah.
kasi mag-employ sila ng local
Local.
people, no? May job generation pa rin sila. Or outsource nga nila yung kailangan nila dito. So they communicate lang through the internet. Yeah, all of
Tapos sa inyo, parang binibigay nyo sa mga ka-network nyo naman na mga companies. Mga companies
yeah, something
na
like that.
ka-network.
Oo, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then sa industry namin, it's not necessary na kailangang night shift. Yeah, hindi naman siya kasi customer
regular
facing
working
Yeah,
hours.
regular working hours siya.
Nice.
Of course, depending dun sa sometimes you have, deadlines to meet, so you need to render extra hours for that.
Okay.
And then that's on marketing and branding. The other side is capability development. So we do a lot of these trainings, the skills matching, gap, bridging the gap, the skills gap. And then we have a lot of collaboration with different academic institutions so that they produce the graduates that the industry needs. Yeah.
Ayun nga, tinitingnan namin yung mga partner companies. So,
Yeah.
bongga.
Ang dami.
So it's a hodgepodge of large companies, global names, mid-sized companies, and small and medium enterprises. Yeah.
Okay.
Kasi
So
this-
for companies naman, parang how do they parang apply as a member?
PSIA. Yeah. They just send an email to us. So our email address is secretariat@psia.org.ph. So we'll give them a list of requirements. Basically, we just need the legal documents, to as proof na it's really a legal entity, yun, SEC documents, yan. And then we endorse it to our board of directors. So we have a board of trustees who endorses membership. So upon approval naman, then we do the induction at one of our membership meetings.
So meron ba kayong parang list of qualifications na parang
Definitely the company has to be involved in software development.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yun
and
lang.
IT and other IT services. Yeah. We have two types of membership, the regular membership, which is yun nga, kailangan software development company ka. Any size, we don't discriminate as long as it's a legal entity. The other membership,
Enterprise level.
yeah, other membership type is partner membership. So these are the ones, partner siya. These are the ones na hindi talaga, they don't really develop software, but they might be helping the sector. So it could
parang
be
investors?
pwede yan, pwede ding even legal offices that
Yes.
cater to the IT industry. It could be training providers, the ones that are offering IT training, or academic, really the IT schools themselves. Yeah. Pero same process pa rin. We need to, to look at their profiles and then we endorse them to our board. Yeah.
Okay. For the yung mga IT graduates na gustong ma-employ, parang how do they connect to PSIA?
Yeah, through our website lang. They
Through
can
our
check.
website.
Yeah.
They can check. We're not a recruitment, company. We're a trade organization. So basically, we promote the industry inside and outside the Philippines. So in terms of recruitment, it's really, you have to work for it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Ayan. So meron pa ba kayong question?
Actually, this is a good topic na
Eye-opener.
kasi I have friends na I've been going to companies and interviewing with them, and lagi nilang feedback sa akin is is there an organization that we can connect with in the Philippines? Kasi they came from, let's say, Europe, US, tapos dito na sila nagbe-base in the Philippines because of madami nga dong developers dito sa Philippines.
Yeah.
And yung struggle nila is to what or certain organization can you recommend to us na sasalihan namin for networks din. And yun, I will tell my friends about this.
CSIA.
Spread the word. Yeah.
Yes. Ayun, question ko lang, parang di ba, you have talked about, parang you are talking to, parang pupunta kayo ibang bansa and then you are talking to these companies and then you are promoting the Philippines as a software industry, kung saan sila pwede mag-outsource. So, do you have an idea kung paano ba nila, anong tingin naman nila sa mga Filipino software developers or...
When we go out, when we go to exhibitions, let's say in Tokyo, there's a software development expo in Tokyo that we attend every May. They already know that we're in the game.
Magagaling.
Yeah, alam na nila yon. They know
Pinoy.
that. It's a different culture as well. Japan is a different culture. If you look at it as a client, you know, may sarili silang culture. When we go naman to Australia, there's CeBIT in Sydney every May as well. When they go to the Philippine booth, they know already that we're in the game, but they don't wanna, kasi outsourcing sa kanila medyo hindi pa ganun ka-welcome.
Okay.
Although, they know that it's cost-efficient to outsource their IT requirements. And they have very good words about Filipinos. They would go to the booth telling, "Oy, I have, my wife's a Filipina," or meron akong friend na Filipino. They're very good, ganyan. They always compare to other nationalities.
Okay.
Yun. So, you're like this compared to this nationality. So, medyo sasabihin nila, mas yung business ethics ng mga Pinoy, mas madali silang mag-adapt. Yun. Although, I think the downside to us is madali tayong umoo no? Even if sometimes we don't understand things. Yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Yan.
So
Yes,
we
ma'am.
stretch, we always stretch ourselves thinly, diba? Sa kanila, sa iba. Especially foreigners, diba? We're westernized. Pero they have a lot of good words about the Filipino worker in general. No, walang problema dyan. And customer service is innate to us, diba?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we smile a lot.
Yes. Okay. Yan.
So
Other more
that-
questions?
Is the state
Yes. So, I
The status.
believe na nagkaroon kayo ng picture. So, stay in the Philippines.
and
Yan. So, kayong lilipad.
yes, marami naman. Pwede ka naman magka-boss abroad.
So,
Yes.
i-judge
Yeah.
agad yung mga maliliit na company.
Yes.
Ayan. Okay. So, thank you, Miss Joie.
Thank you also.
Thank
That's
you,
just an
Joey.
overview of
Yes.
of the industry. But if you want case studies, we have a lot of people in our group, a lot of
Okay.
companies. So we have the large ones, the startup ones. If you want to know their projects, the applications that they're developing,
Yes.
let me know. Then we can also guest them
Yes,
eventually.
ayan.
If
So,
you want.
ibangayan natin yan sa e-Talakayan. So,
Yes.
we'll have guests from PSIA.
PSIA.
Okay. Ayan, so maraming salamat. Isa na namang episode ng Talakayan at Balitaan o Taliban. Hello, Sir Mario.
Taliban.
Ayan.
Nagpapabati pala si Trixie at ang kanyang magulang.
Mami, hello. Ayan,
Hi,
sana nakikinig
Trixie.
kayo, Trixie. Ayan. Okay.
Ako, binabati ko po ang mga nakikinig ko mga estudyante ngayon sa
Oh,
Section
yeah. Hindi
B,
siya nag-class.
IT Fundamentals. Babalik ako dyan maya-maya after nito.
Yan.
Tapos, para sa lahat ng mga nakikinig, iniimbitahan ko kayo sa concert namin sa July 12 sa Abelardo Hall Auditorium sa UP College of Music. UP Concert Chorus Concert po. Yan.
So, Miss Joey, meron po ba kayong
Gustong batiin?
Wala naman. We're just we're celebrating our 25th
Yes,
year this year.
congratulations.
Yeah.
And I'll be there Friday.
Friday.
So thank you, and that alone is proof that it's been growing through the
Yes,
years.
Mm.
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Okay. So, maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Ayan. So, itong e-Talakayan kung saan ang IT ay hindi pang eksperto lamang.
Kundi kaalamang inilalapit sa bayan.
Ayan. So, bye!
Bye.